Sometimes the decision that looks foolish to everyone else becomes the decision that changes your entire life. For 6 long years, every harvest on a small farm had failed. The soil had once been rich and the fields had once been full of golden wheat. But year after year, the crops became weaker. The rains came at the wrong time, insects destroyed the plants, and sometimes the sky stayed dry for months. The farmer Daniel worked from sunrise until sunset, but every season ended the same way. Another loss. One evening, Daniel sat outside his small farmhouse, staring at his empty field. His wife quietly placed a cup of tea beside him. "We cannot continue like this," she said softly. Daniel knew she was right. The next morning, something unexpected happened. A wealthy landowner named Mr. Harrison arrived in a large carriage. He owned several farms in the area and had been watching Daniel struggle for years. He walked across the dry field and said, "Daniel, you have worked hard, but this land is clearly not helping you anymore. Sell it to me. I will give you enough money to pay your debts and start a new life somewhere else." Daniel looked at the offer. It was more money than he had ever seen at one time. For a moment, he thought about accepting it. Then Mr. Harrison added, "Everyone knows this land is finished. You are only wasting your time." That evening, Daniel's neighbors came to his house. "Sell the farm," one said. "You have already lost 6 years," another told him. "You can buy a smaller house and find another job." Even Daniel's relatives encouraged him to accept the offer. Everyone believed selling was the sensible decision. Daniel barely slept that night. Before sunrise, he walked alone into his field. He picked up a handful of dry soil and let it fall through his fingers. He remembered his father teaching him how to plant his first crop. "This land fed our family for generations," his father had once told him. "Never give up on something simply because it becomes difficult." Daniel looked toward the horizon. He could sell, he could walk away, or he could wait. After a long silence, he made his decision. "I will wait one more season." It sounded like a foolish decision. One more season meant more work, more uncertainty, more risk. But Daniel decided to try something different. Instead of planting the same crop again, he spent his remaining savings on studying the soil. He spoke to an agricultural expert in a nearby town. He learned that years of poor farming had drained certain nutrients from his land. The expert gave him a simple suggestion. Let the land rest, plant a different crop, give the soil time to recover. Daniel followed the advice. He worked every morning. He repaired the irrigation channels. He added natural fertilizer. He planted seeds that were better suited to the changing weather. And then he waited. For weeks, nothing happened. His neighbors laughed. "You should have sold the land," they said. Daniel kept working. Then one morning he noticed something. Tiny green leaves were pushing through the soil. A few days later, there were hundreds, then thousands. The field slowly turned green. For the first time in years, Daniel's farm looked alive again. The weather also changed. That season brought steady rain. The crop grew higher and stronger than anyone expected. When harvest time came, Daniel stood in the middle of a field filled with golden grain. It was the biggest harvest the farm had produced in decades. But the story did not end there. News of Daniel's successful harvest spread through the village. Farmers from nearby areas came to ask what he had done. The same people who had told him to sell his land now wanted to learn from him. Even Mr. Harrison returned. He looked across the beautiful field and said, "I thought this land was worthless." Daniel smiled. "So did I." Mr. Harrison asked, "Then why didn't you sell it?" Daniel looked at his field and replied, "Because I decided to give it one more chance." That one decision changed everything. Daniel didn't become successful because he suddenly became lucky. He became successful because at the moment when everyone told him to quit, he made one good decision. He chose patience over pressure. He chose learning over fear. And most importantly, he chose not to make a permanent decision based on a temporary struggle.
Sometimes life puts you in a season where nothing seems to work. You may feel like your efforts are being wasted. You may hear people telling you to quit, give up, or choose the easier path. But remember, what good decision can change the direction of your entire life. You don't always need to solve everything today. Sometimes you simply need to say, "I will try one more time." That one more attempt may teach you something new. That one more season may bring the opportunity you were waiting for. And that one good decision made when everyone else has given up may become the reason your life finally changes. So, when life tells you that your story is over, don't be too quick to believe it. Sometimes your breakthrough is waiting just